welcome to Saturday at the... Wow, do I have words? I don't... Hello and welcome to the circus. I'm your host, Phoenix Electra, and on Saturday mornings, we do art projects. We have our second art quilt to get started on. I started to lay out some pieces and get things ready. It's funny, Loki was here like an hour ago. I got his snacks ready, but he's not here. But I see folks are trickling on in, which is super awesome. And should we wait for cats? Should we roll the intro and move the camera? Should we just hang out for a second and have another sip of coffee? For my favorite coffee mug. It's a good one. It's being such a piss hot. And now, nowhere to be found. I'm wearing one of my short coat schmatas. Took time to put my face on. Did a big giant liner. And I don't know, I just got this blue liquid liner. I don't know whether the primer, what was happening, because I'm sure that it can't be used up yet, but where you live when it's dry, sometimes things get dried up. So I have no idea what's happening. Other than... Okay. Gotta move the monitor. I took the spray, the compressed air, tried to manage what was going on with the fan. It helped a little bit. It doesn't sound like we're art quilting anymore, unfortunately, however. It does seem like I'm going to have to get under the hood, but I'm thinking to open up the hood of another laptop to see if I can hack a fan. Do I know what I'm doing? No. Should I be scared to go into my fancy computer? Probably. But for some reason I'm not, which is, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. It's been a week. Let's grab these cats. Is anybody coming? Oh. I hear a troublemaker. I see one kitty. Hey, little man. Oh, I see a Loki. Come on, Loki Fluff. Gotta get our snackies before we get into the stitching. Come on. Loki, come here. Who's gonna come up here for a snacky? One, you guys are making me look bad. Come on. Come on. There's a little man with a snack. Come on, Loki. Come here. Come on. Stand up so people can see how beautiful you are. Come on. You know how this goes. You know how this show goes. Come on. Come on. You want a snacky or not? Loki, you're making us look bad. Oh, there's a good boy. Ah! Maxi pants from the deep. Ooh, you need your nails cut. That hurt me. That hurt me. Oh, good boy. Good boy. Alright. One more for you, little dude. Oh, okay. Two more for Loki because he was a little late to the party. Brain Freakers is always late to the party. Come on, Loki. Oh, you want that one? Alright. One more for Loki. Come on. Give me a big jump. Come on. You know how this goes. You have to work for your snackies around here. Hey. Loki, come on. Oh. Little... Ah! Ho, 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 ho! You need your nails cut! Loki, come on. I know all you see is this big maxi pad like creeping up from the bottom of the screen. Alright, Loki, one more for you. Then we should start the sewing. Hello? I know, that one kind of was a little painful. And clawed in the hand. Alright, boys. Oh. Fortunately, there's no bloodletting, and he didn't, like, bite through my hand, so that's good. How are you, good sir? Let me... It is going. It is going. I should move the camera over so that we can readjust. I have my coffee. I have my sewing. 2 of the 3 cats have got snacks. Alright, let me real quick roll my intro so I can move the camera to a better location. Here's my media studio. Intro. Okay. And, ooh, that's not terrible. Let's grab another coffee and I'll have that. Perfect. All right, I got my ear holes in. I'm ready for friends to hang out with me today. But, oh, fudge muffins. I know, coffee is my friend. There is so much to kvetch about. Oh my god, I could just be so angry. But there's no point in being angry because that doesn't get us anywhere. We have to be clear-headed during these times of crazy. Because when we get too much in our feels, that's when we are too easily manipulated. I love this sparkly rumble that we made. I stitched that. Reading oh, and I think it'll pop up. So what I did earlier was I copied the pieces, and let me swoosh this over here. Take out the ones that are not pinned down. I don't want to put the fabric in my coffee. That would be bad for both my coffee and fabric. Wowie. Just take a breath, kids. Take a breath. Oh, there's Freya Fruppers yelling. I started to pin down some of the big pieces where I knew, like, the blue, and then it said green, and then the rest is, like, brushies, and I've got the pattern in front of me, or the line schematics, because I still can't find the picture. I spent a whole bunch of time trying to look online. Oh, Freya Fruppers! Nope. Let me see if I can. Oh, that was not careful. I don't think I'm going to get her to be up for the screen, but if I gently set some snackies on the floor for her, she will like me. Okay. Now everybody's had snackies. Oh, boy cats! Stop that. Those are Freya Fruffer snackies. You guys had yours. Okay, come on. Hurry up. Need one more? Keep you distracted? Okay, there's one more. Ay, cats and snacks. They are. Nope, those are Freya Fruppers, Goobers. She ate all the snacks. No more snacks right now. Yeah. All right. So, where was I? I was moving pieces. We are being little crazy monkeys right now. I was thinking I was going to do this time was flip, do the stitching on the back side where I can see where the lines are. Ooh, we have a guest. It shows me that they've arrived. Except let me do this one. And he has to. Turn on his mic. Just press the buttons. Good sir, just press the buttons. Oh man, don't step on my computer, please. Oh, there we go.
Can you hear me?
I can.
Awesome. I'm exhausted. I got up this morning and did a live stream at 7 o'clock.
Oh god, I did not even roll out of bed until 8, even though little man was like yelling and fighting with my fingers. He's like, "Come on, mom, I'm hungry. Why are you still in bed?" Did it go well?
Yeah, it went really well. It went really well. I wore a
Good.
pineapple suit.
Oh no. So it was one of those bus streams.
The amount of coffee, it doesn't I don't wake up all cheery and excited.
Bright-eyed and bushy-tailed.
So the amount of coffee it takes to get me to this point is actually kind of amazing.
I know. I was so tired. We actually made a second cup this morning. I was like, I'm not ready to be awake yet.
I know the feeling. So let's get to the grease. It's been a while.
It has been a hot minute.
You know what my new annoying thing is? People who
What?
say they almost went to a Diddy party.
Oh, is that the new like flex? You're like, I almost went.
Yeah. All these people I watched were like, let me tell you about the one time this guy came to me and was like, go to this mansion party. I'm in the cheap seats, but I have a question. How come you never brought that up before?
Yeah, I think it's all just the clout chasing now. They're like, oh man, oh maybe they're trying to get in on the reparations.
Every person I've ever we all know about me and Lenny Kravitz because I've told the story a good jillion times. So if I ever got invited to a Diddy party, I would let everyone know. Oh, that's beautiful.
I've just laid out the piece. I'm just trying to figure out to make sure I have a notion because I'm like, it's supposed to be the Sedona step. I don't know. It's all reds and browns, and I maybe I need something fun. I'm like too stressed out to sew this. I like need to start it, but I'm like, well, I've got one done. I could send that for Christmas and save the other one for their birthday like next year. But then I'm like, do I really want this just like laying around in my unfinished pile that long either?
I put that in a very dark corner of my closet. So all the stuff I'm either shaming myself for or ignoring, I hide.
Well, my things are just the sewing machine. I guess we'll just do the sewing machine. Who needs to see my mug?
So what do you think about all the craziness that's been going on? Chris Christopherson passed away.
That was sad. Yup.
There's
Yeah,
a bunch
Dave
of people
popped in and mentioned. I know and then the was it John Amos from Beastmaster and a whole bunch of other things.
John Amos, actually, what's really funny? He was on Good Times. When I was a kid, I was legitimately scared of John Amos. He had a presence of him that he just had that I don't play look on his face.
Yeah.
So I always had a weird fear of John Amos.
Fear. The thing that just made me most. No, it wasn't the thing that disgusted me most this week. One of the things that saddened, disheartened me was the way they trotted out Jimmy Carter for his 100th birthday. That
I didn't
man,
see that.
oh, they wheeled him out and he literally looks like a
Methuselah.
somewhat breathing corpse. Like, and if you had told me that he was dead, I would not have disbelieved anyone. He looked so corpse-like. I have no other word. Like, that is the only word I have. It was
That's
just
sad.
kind of sad.
When my grandmother hit 95, she lived to be 99, but after 95, she kind of retired and stopped making public appearances because you get old.
Yes, and it's. I heard somebody say that the Dems are the party of elder abuse, and I kind of can't disagree with what I saw this week
Diane
with that.
Feinstein, the whole Diane Feinstein, when she came to vote, that made me want to cry.
Yeah, that too. And then that whoever was like, oh, his Carter's son was like, he's going to be so proud to vote for that lady. I was like, I don't think he has enough energy to lift a finger to sign his name on the ballot. I think this is illegal voter voting. Like, and it's actually impressive how long he's managed to survive in hospice. Like, usually folks don't live, yeah, folks don't live
With
that long.
with modern day healthcare, you can live a long time.
That's
It's just
true, and
it's all
that's
about
also for
money.
better or worse.
It's just all about money, and I know this for a fact. When my father passed away, he literally had a hospital in his house.
Yeah.
He had the tank, and he had the oxygen, the thing that refilled it, and everything. Like
Oh, the compressor. Yeah.
he had his own little mini hospital, and that was all because he could afford to. And it's really sad that not too many people can. Give me one
That's
second.
well, we can't we can't do this because we're shipping it everywhere else, and that. Oh, I just take a minute. The chicanery that's happening in West Tennessee and North Carolina is really gets my goat and is very upsetting to
So what
me.
else? What else was happening in the world of the Skyfall? I try not to pay attention. I'm in my own little world. It's just Tweed and watching sci-fi videos because I am so tuned out of everything. I'm kind of over it.
Yeah, I am. The only reason I'm paying attention is that I know if I need to grab my kit and my cats and get in the car or to hunker down. It I think that's the
Oh, I'm
only reason
hunkering
I'm paying
down.
attention.
I'm gonna guard my sewing machines,
It's
and
right.
I can back that up.
And if all else fails, if you come between me and my sewing machine, you try to. If you're on the wrong end of that, then you're in a sad state.
I was kind of thinking if we really do go into a recession and we get as bad as like recycling precious metals, I'll be rich all over again because I'm sitting on 7 tons of antique sewing machine.
Right? Yes,
I could melt that down and make my own tank.
you could, but I find I'd rather. Well, some of yours are duds, but keep the ones that are in
I
working
buy
condition.
everything. I buy
You
everything.
do
The good, the bad, the ugly,
the
the
ugly,
indifferent, the broken.
the
I
downtrodden, the
I
missing
bought a
hearted.
12 I bought a broken machine in Las Vegas and brought it all the way back to California.
Of course, you did.
I've been having fun. I'm craving another trip. I've been having a lot of fun going there. It's my
That's good. I'm.
I haven't left the house in 4 years since the beginning of 2020.
Yeah.
So this year was me getting out the house.
Returning to polite society.
You know what's so funny? I won't get into it too much because I've told you a lot of it, but said society has changed, and I've lived in a cave and didn't notice.
Yeah, and unfortunately, so many things have not changed for the better. We've been, if you want to, depressing is not the right word. A very deep, if it wasn't written, if it was, I, it's so crazy that I could almost believe it's fiction, but it's nonfiction. It's called Games in the Paw, or Pawns in the Game by William Guy Carr with two R's. It is a fascinating read. And yeah, it's just crazy the truth and the manipulation that's been going on for more than 300 years and with the following of the money of things.
Oh, where's
Oh,
my
if
math?
you,
I keep my mass movements book near me at all time. The True Believer. I have traveled. This book is so beat up. I travel with this thing. I love this book, but really, it's about not falling into mass movements.
yeah, then that's something, that's a truthful thing. I did my part. There's this company up in Washington who sells surplus kits and different things, and he put in an order for $50,000 of cold weather gear to donate to the hurricane victims. And he's got these like mystery grab boxes, so I
That's
ordered two
awesome.
of them. So I'm like, all right, he needed to raise. He got negotiated them down to like 46,000 as of yesterday. The last time I checked, he'd already raised 30. So I was like, I did my part. I dropped some dough there.
Good grief! I was just talking about this with somebody of how much money people make in fundraisers online.
Yeah, it's either a lot or a little. There's that one. Oh my god, do you have you fallen across Ty Riviera,
No,
the greatest LGBT comedian in the world?
I'm gonna tell you, like that whole. I'm too old for all of that.
No, he's
Like,
our age, I think.
but I don't participate in any of that because it's so sensationalized and it's so like niche that like I don't think they're talking to me.
No, he spends a lot of time kind of haranguing and dismantling some of these young TikTokers who are just like grifting for clout and using their demigod status to get people to be like, I'm special, give me money.
I recently watched a video on that about TikTokers that e-bag. It was actually really interesting because I'm not on TikTok, so I have
No,
no idea who these people are.
me neither. And I try to keep it. I had it for a hot minute, and then I deleted it. And I was like, no, I don't want. I'm on enough lists and tracked enough. I don't need it here. Also,
I don't think I lasted 48 hours before I felt too old.
yeah, there's some weird stuff there. And what is it? Folks like faking disabilities and faking things to like scam folks out of money is really just deplorable.
That's
Like,
a big pet peeve of mine. As somebody who's been around people that if both of my parents have had cancer, I will have something to say if I catch you.
mhm. Yeah, that and it's just like downright illegal, but
There was actually
folks are so gullible.
a woman that my parents knew. She shaved her head and she faked having cancer, and they put her in prison.
Yeah,
Where I live
well, it's
in California, they threw her under the jail.
yeah, and that's kind of hard to do, but and easy to do all at the same time. It's so bizarre.
I think
But I
it's because she ripped off a bunch of people, but then like when you end up on the news, someone's gonna do something, and it's usually the authorities because
yes,
you're making everyone look bad.
yeah. Oh, speaking of folks, Mark Kerber from America's Untold Stories, I guess was on 2020 last night talking about the art detective and that woman who worked her way up through the LAPD in the art crimes division, but 20 plus years ago, she'd murdered her girlfriend, and the police department helped in the cover up, and she got promoted. And I guess she's up for parole, and they're like, um, No, you only spent like 8 years in the popo, and you were on the streets for 20 after the crime.
Yikes. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, but then I didn't I just hear that the Menendez brothers are trying to get paroled also.
Freaking, I felt like I was on the other side of a mirror. I felt like when I heard that, and I fall down these rabbit holes because I saw a video and I was like, that can't be true. No, this is just someone wolfing on the internet. I kept clicking, I kept googling. They're working to get them out. But me, as somebody who works as a second chance employer, I wouldn't let Eric or Lyle near my shop.
Well, yeah, you've
Sorry,
got chemicals and heavy machinery, though. I
they'd
mean,
run me over in a second. What? Oh, that guy was mad at me because I was late to work. I'm gonna hit him with the work truck. That's one thing I'll tell you. There's a list of like I believe in my previous boss was really big on giving people a second chance. I'm not as hardcore, but like there is a list of things that if you have done, you can't even walk on campus at my job.
yeah, and I mean, and that makes sense. There's certain things that are like, all right, or depending on how long ago, or if it was, or like the stories about like some young whippersnapper at like 19 or 21 gets into a bar fight and accidentally like clocks somebody, they hit their head and don't
I
make
knew
it.
I actually knew someone that did over 15 years in prison for a fight in Hollywood.
Yeah, I those type if they're
In the
not, I don't
70s.
know.
In the 70s. They got in a fight in the 70s. Let me put that out there.
Yeah,
It was
it's
a
been a
long.
hot minute.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think at that point for accident, when it's a real accident, what is going on with the tension? May not stitch and talk today.
I have a bunch of stuff to be sewing too, and I should be going through the fabric I got today too.
Oh my! Speaking of fabric, I was trolling on Craigslist. Oh, this is what's going on. My tension is all off up on the top here. Yeah. So I was trolling on Craigslist, and in the somebody is selling 4 yards of basically that same green moire that I had gotten a whole a whole bunch of for a handful of bucks at the Goodwill. Guess how much they're trying to sell it for?
How much?
$100 for 4 yards of fabric.
You guys have really good stuff up there. They're smoking the good stuff because
They're like,
there's no.
oh, is that the other thing? I'm like, no, I bought a whole roll of this for
I
like
thought
3 days.
you can't help but laugh because that's outrageous. That's
It is.
crazy to me.
Yeah, it's not new. It's synthetic. It looks exactly like the one that I bought and used up. I'm like, no. I'll give you $4, $1 a yard. But no, you're cray cray.
Oh, buddy, this is gonna get flash fried. I have and at my job we have industrial washers and dryers, so I
Yeah,
take the tweed to work.
right. That stuff. Yeah, you gotta get the shrink out fast.
Well, and a lot of it comes from huge. Like this is an actual roll from the manufacturer. It's a bit greasy.
Yeah.
It's brand new. Like, oh no, you're gonna get flash fried.
Oh, that's weird. Fabric's not supposed to feel greasy.
Well, the place I get tweed from, it's the first. I think there was slim pickings today because I came an hour later because I was streaming
Mm.
this morning, and
Mm-hmm.
and I usually leave the house around 7:45. I left at 8:45,
Yeah.
and he gets the stuff straight from the man. Like there, he won't tell me. I've asked him. I was like, "Where do you get this?" And he was like, "Oh, you don't like my prices?" I was like, "I love you. Where do you get this?"
Right. Oh, funny.
Because he sold me
I
a
know.
whole roll of tweed for a crazy price, and I was like, "Oh, I need to know where you get this, sir."
Whose soul did you have to sell to buy, or what did you do to get such so that I can get such a good price on this?
And I speak said language as well, so you can't play the I don't speak English role with me.
Right.
So we can haggle in two different languages if you want to.
Oh, this is weird. Oh, poop sacks. Okay.
Oh, I did. Oh, I forgot about this. I did buy. Okay, so my new sewing friends have taught me weird things.
Okay.
And pineapples means that you're a swinger in certain places. So I
Yeah,
have gone
this is
out of
old.
my
Even I, who live under a rock, knew this much. Oh, that pineapples.
I considered it Providence because I walked in and I saw the print and I was like, I'll take 4 yards of that. Kind of made me laugh. It made me laugh. I have to send a picture, but I'm scared my phone will erupt if I do.
Oh God, that's all right. I figure I'm already on enough. Actually, I know I'm on enough lists, so it's too late now. I'm already posed. Oh, and then I'm just laughing. Town is like up in arms because our water treatment facility is in a floodplain, which, after all this recent debacle, I'm like, that's probably not ideal and has been damaged by previous floods, is 70 years old. And they want to move it to to just build a new one to, upgrade and modernize some stuff. And they found a nice place in the watershed, and folks are like, but we can't do that. Here's our environmental impact study and this, that, and the other thing. I'm like, I think I might pony up the dough and just fix this rather than not having clean water. But maybe that's just me, and I'm just like a naive shrub.
Same thing happens where I live. They argue over crazy stuff instead of helping people.
Yeah, and it's all like just dumb shit. Like, I don't know. Ugh, just over it. But I did find that you can still get AA and AAA rechargeable batteries with a charger. I was like, oh, that sounds like not a
I
terrible investment.
I have a whole bunch. I have a whole system of batteries. Because I live in earthquake country,
Right.
so I'm ready. I am, but yeah, they still sell. I've gone through all different types of brands, and so far they're pretty much the most reliable.
Yeah, I just got some PBLs. I was like, oh, sweet. Let's try this one because I don't know. I got rechargeable batteries for all sorts of stuff, but I was like, headlamps and different things. Yeah. Oh, speaking of earthquakes, I guess Mount Adams is starting to wake up.
Uh-oh.
They've been having a couple of little, like, less sub one um, shifting events around there. I'm like, okay, welcome, volcano, to awake times. That is slipping off all my tension discs. Can you just be where you're supposed to?
I've been going crazy sewing lately because I've been tuning stuff out. I've actually been sewing a lot. But it's been 100 degrees here every day. It's going to be 100 degrees again today.
So you're making all these winter clothes that are like, it's too hot to wear this shit.
I jokingly said I was trying to invoke winter, but at this point, I'm over it. It's so hot. It is so hot. It's so out of season. It's disgusting.
Yeah, our temperatures are. I just am ready for the rains to start. To be quite frank, I'd like some more water, please.
I'm begging for rain.
Yeah, I'm ready to go out and do a rain dance. Alright, I've sewed a piece down. Woohoo! So I think I'm just gonna go through. Oh, that is like shit and a half shows. Alright. Fortunately, this line of poop is gonna get covered by the other.
I say it all the time. If someone's looking that close, they either bought it or you're married. So it doesn't matter.
Unfortunately, it's for a gift, so I have to. I'm gonna.
Okay, that's different.
Yeah, this is not gonna stay in my possession. Alright, maybe I can't work on this. Let me just grab one of my reserve projects.
I totally forgot. I totally forgot about my name on Rumble. For some reason, no no like site likes the name Godless Sewing. So I'd always have to add letters, or that's why I always add weird years or numbers behind it.
Rumble's not too bad, but the only thing that people are up in arms about, there's a couple of words in the comment section that you can't type.
Oh, what is it? Can we dance around them? What words are they?
Oh, it's for some reason they're not happy with hard on and cock.
What? That's so not anywhere in the realm of what I thought you were gonna say. Those are staples in the English language.
I know. And from people are grumbling about it, but it sounds like it's a Apple and Google problem because you can say them. Like I can say those words and not have any trouble, but you can't type them in the chat. And I tried this again last week, and it's still true. Like I can say it,
Rumble,
but I can't type it in Rumble. Yeah, in the Rumble chat, and it doesn't even like let you know that it didn't go through. Like, go do it, try it.
You know, I'm like
You'll see it, but it won't show up on my end.
none of my nothing I've said is showing up on. Oh, hold on. Let me see if I click on this. Yeah, none of my comments are showing up on here.
Oh, I see it.
I'm on Rumble. Well, technically, I'm on Rumble and YouTube.
Right. I see your comment. Let me grab another cup of coffee. That's the last thing I saw you type. Yeah, I don't know if you type anything after that.
Do you see my last one?
Let me see here. No.
Okay, then they're really hunting for that. That's so funny.
I know of all the words. Yeah, Yep.
They better never go through my phone.
Yeah, you hit have a hard on for cocks in the chat. It's
there are certain words that if you just click a letter, it'll pop like, you know, whatever I type in all the time will pop up.
Yeah, it's funny, and I think that, I don't know if there's any other ones. Those are the ones I know that I've tested and heard grumped about the most frequently.
Oh, that's hilarious.
I know, because you
can, yeah. Rumble, you let me curse. Rumble, you let me curse in my video. I was so happy because Let's Go Sewing was actually born from something else I used to say all the time that you can't say on YouTube.
Yeah, it's a chat issue that has to do with.
Oh, that's funny.
Apple and Google, because I think otherwise it would be a non-issue.
It happens all the time. Like with DJ Dose or Kilroy, they'll say something and YouTube, like I can see it in the studio, but in no way, unless I highlight it, you can't see it.
Oh, that's, yeah.
And I highlight everything, so you're more than likely to see it.
It shows up. You know, I am glad. Well, I don't know, the longshoreman strike. It was funny that people were bitching about the toilet paper, but we make toilet paper in this country. That doesn't come from overseas. The thing that was making me most concerned was all of the generic drugs that come from India. That
Oh,
that
people still use. I know somebody that made themselves immune to penicillin because they could not stop taking that stuff from India.
uh,
And
yeah.
like I asked her, I was like, "What happens when you get sick?" And she's like, "You don't want to know."
Uh, yeah, you can't. I was like, oh, they probably had to stop the strike because they weren't going to be able to get their generic Viagra anymore. They're like, oh shit, this hurts us too. Because it's not, we can't afford to have stuff get routed around through the Panama Canal to come back up to the West Coast to then
Not
get
when we have
redistributed.
an extremely intricate rail system.
That's also fallen to shit.
I've actually that's some of the most fun stuff I've ever done in my life is going on abandoned railroads in California and Arizona.
Interesting.
I
Oh,
had a cousin who first time I went I was really scared, but then he showed me all these like old ancient just abandoned sites in California and Arizona.
yeah. Oh, that reminds me of the Boxcar Kids. I loved those books when I was little.
There's people on YouTube that build their own little mini carts. I want to do that so bad, but I've become really claustrophobic as an adult. So if I hit a tunnel,
Yeah.
I
Well, there's that guy, that YouTuber who did all the rail jumping stuff and then somehow, like, I don't know, fell off but got. I don't remember how he
it's
died
so
now, but
dangerous.
yeah.
Have you ever been to like? There's a side of Portland where all the locals, like a train will be coming through. You can tell the people that are from there. They just jump a car and just go on their day.
Oh, that's. Yeah, no.
The first time I did it, I was like, if I just stood here for a minute, I would be on the Burnside Bridge in the middle of the Willamette River. Like, you have to jump immediately off.
I don't have the cojones for that. My chesticles are like, yeah, no. I. No.
I always thought that was just like, it's such a local, it's a Portland thing. People in Portland, I get, no matter where you live, people are a rare breed, but they're a rare breed in Portland.
Yeah. There's something up there. Right now, the world's just full of. I don't. Ugh. Try not to be bitter. Or bitter's not the right word. I'm just.
You're observant, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's why I hide, because my opinion will hurt people's feelings.
Yeah, and I've just stopped caring. I'm like, it doesn't. I don't care. Cancel. I'm not. If I just
Do you
joked
remember what I
last week,
told
I
you?
disappeared. That I'm on a. They sent me to the re-education camp, and somebody please come rescue me.
Do you remember what I told you about my about going to Vegas and the old clubs I
Oh
used to
yeah,
frequent?
yeah,
I actually said that to a few other people, and they agreed with me. The
yeah,
world has changed. The world has changed.
yeah, and
And all us responsible folks we're paying our bills, not realizing that the world we
yeah.
knew doesn't exist anymore. It's sad. It's to me, it's sad.
It is, and kind of just like disheartening because what's come to replace it is just
Not what I want.
no. This is not where my family left Europe. This is not. My
Okay,
ancestors are
I'm
like
gonna
rolling
try
up
to
their
say
graves.
I'm gonna try to say this as succinct as possible, but certain niche groups came together for because they were excluded from society. So once those clubs are no longer exclusive, then it loses its value, and I'm gonna go somewhere else.
Right? Yeah.
And
And
you know what? I don't judge. Live and let live. Live your life. Live your life, as they say. I just won't participate.
right. And I don't know. I think it's these young kids. Like we used to grow up and just wanting to be left alone. Like, yes, I'm part of XYZ group identity, whatever. But at the end of the day, I just want to do my stuff, go home to my family, and be left the fuck alone. Now they're like, no, you must pay attention and honor me because I'm XYZ. I'm like, go shove it, kid.
See, every time you say that, I get good old Mr. Cobain stuck in my head. Come as you
As
are,
you are.
as you were. People don't. They didn't. No one listened to the words of that song.
Yeah. We come from we come from a different time when dinosaurs roamed the earth, and
Needless
we're
to say,
simpler.
even with all that said, I'm still gonna go back. I'm actually like I have this really sad Vegas fund that I start because I still work in a lot of cash. And
Right,
where I live, like you know, I drink a lot of bottled water and a lot of soda, so I recycle.
right.
And my son isn't at that age yet. Like, it's so funny. He doesn't value money. Like, I offered him $50 to shave his mustache. And he was like, no. And I was like, dude, in my day, if you'd offer me $50, like,
Right, if Grandpa did that, I would have been like, "So
in
that's the
two
easiest 50
seconds.
bucks I made all day."
Well, it's different. My dad would have cornered me and been like, you look like Shaggy Boy. Shave your upper lip. Different time. Different time.
Yes.
Or he'd be like, no hippies live in this house. Oh. So needless to say, I have offered my son money and it dawned on me, like, these kids, they don't value money like we used to.
Well, no, because they think money just grows on tree. You just like swipe plastic, and money is like this ever growing fountain. Like it's if it's not tangible, I don't think they have a real concept of it.
I have done it. I feel like I've done a disservice sometimes. Because like we'll go, like I'll drop him off his MMA class and I'm like, oh, do you need anything from the store? And he's like, yeah, I want a 3D printer, a zebra, and a Fabergé egg. And I'm like, yeah, he not necessarily, but like he asked for things, and I'm
Right.
like, you have no concept of money.
Right. Yeah.
But sometimes I feel like I don't. I just know how much is in my bank account. That's all.
Well, I mean that is having a concept. You know what's there that you can spend or what you should save versus yeah.
Gosh, now I just have Nirvana stuck in my head.
No, I just want a Fabergé egg. Damn it! I always wanted one of those.
I have a bunch of Russian dolls because my grandparents went around the world. My grandfather, after World War II, he went to every country that was involved in World War II.
Yeah. Oh, I don't think we should. I've got a picture of it on my feed somewhere. But we were at the Goodwill a while ago, and we found a Matryoshka set that was Bill Clinton and all of his ladies.
Oh, wow. You would never find something like that around here. Oh, I would have so got that. I would have so.
Oh, yep. We that came home with us that day. Like,
Do I still have? Let me see. Let me look in my wallet and see if I still have the sticker. Oh my gosh. This sticker is over. Like I pulled this off a gas pump. I did not pay for this sticker. I've had this sticker for a very long time before it was popular. Because I was on a gas pump and they had it pointing at the prices.
oh, that's funny.
And where I live, gas has been
What, $10 a gallon?
well, it's like between 5 and 6 for the past like 7 or 8 years.
Still too much. I miss 99-cent gas.
Me too. I had a 1983 Ford Ranger, and $5 was like a full round trip to LA and back.
I know. I used to fill up my 79 Chevy Malibu. Ugh. I missed that car, but then the catalytic converter died, and they were like, yeah, it's not worth fixing this. So it Okay, bye bye car.
I know I'm in that kind of phase right now. I need to get rid of one of my trucks, and I'm in denial.
Well, it's so I was looking. I don't know why I was looking. Oh no, I do know what I was looking, but I cannot believe the trucks. Like in my head, a used car like $300 used to be a lot of money. But to
I
see
d-
stuff that's like 10, 15 years old for 15, 20,000, I'm like, those are new car prices. That's not used car prices. Like,
I
what the heck?
bought a 1983 or 4 VW Rabbit for $400, and
Yeah,
I loved that car. It was all steel. I drove that. All I did was get an oil change and switch the starter. It was a brand new car,
yeah,
you know. So I trust me. I agree with you. My white truck, which is just the paint job is just completely bad. It resells for $17,000. There's
yeah,
no way in Hades I can get $17,000 for a 1988 Ford F-150, but on the Blue Book, it's $17,000.
that is. I do. I have no. I'm so like mind boggled by that. It,
My neighbor has been trying to sell his 1991 Ford for over, gosh, Isaiah was in elementary school. He's in 10th grade now. He wants 10 grand for it. He hasn't sold it.
shit.
And I know the kid, and I was like, "Hey, if I nickled and dimed you, would you sell me the truck?" And he was like, "No."
Uh,
The standard price for that, even paying too much, is like $5,000.
yeah,
That's the standard price for. But again, I wheel and deal. Like I know people. They're like, "Okay, I'll give you this truck and and tractor parts and stuff like that."
right.
I refused. The only new car I've ever had is with my ex-wife. I laughed because stepdad and I had the same conversation. We both admitted that neither one of us had a new car till we met my ex-wife.
Oh, that's
Neither one
funny.
of, because she buys new cars. I buy hoopties.
I we've only bought one new car, and it's the same car that we still have. And it's
See, that's different because you're loyal to your car.
I have held on to it. I'm like, my mom was like, "Oh, you should just like turn it in and start leasing, and like, because you're gonna have to pay for expensive repairs." I was like, at this point, I'd rather save up and deal with the repairs because I don't want my cars to track. I don't want. I refuse. I do not want a car post 2006.
My trucks do not have any computers in them. Well, they have the old school computers, nothing new. Um, Give me a second. Grandma looks like she has food. She has bags.
Okay. I'm working on this pumpkin that we started last week. I need to work on that quilt, but things were starting off funny, so I was like, let's go back to stuff that if I fudge up, I'm not going to be upset about. And it's like pumpkin season, so might as well sow some more pumpkins. I know this is kind of like switched out the order of us. No, yeah, whatever. We've got hands in my machine. My face is here. We had cats. Once we finish these art pieces, then we can go and grab the. I should have just ordered a hard copy of the Singer embroidery book. Then we could work through the lessons. We can do it even if we have the electronic copy, but every once in a while I just want a hard copy of a book. And that is not very common anymore, but I may make a return to, or I don't know. Just stuff to move around. Rah. Yeah, not too hot, not too cold. I need to. Oh my gosh, the sourdough bread I made this week. I cut it into it, and I was like, "This looks like bread porn." It was so like perfectly plumpy and beautiful and yummy. So we cut it in half, stuck half in the freezer, and devoured half over the rest of the week. So now I've got half the bread in the freezer and a whole bunch of starter that I need to do some more baking with.
Oh, the same woman who tells me I'm getting skinny is the same woman who tells me I'm getting big.
Yeah, I know. Don't you? Yep.
And then because I've been working crazy hours, she actually helps me out. It's meal prepping. Like she made lasagna last week, chicken and rice,
Oh, nice.
stuff I can, like real meals that I can take to
Yep.
work.
Oh, that's good.
But it's making me fat
Right?
because I'm eating like stuff made with lard at my job. And for as much as I move around, like
You're not moving around that much.
between that and my donut habit, I've tried to back off. Like today, I didn't get a McMuffin. I've been craving like every weekend. I get 2 McMuffins because I'm crazy.
I'm like, yeah, I actually there's not even a McDonald's around where I'm at, so that's a non-issue. But
They put McMSG in their food because I'm sitting at home on a Friday night and I'm like, oh, tomorrow's Saturday because my son will not go with me. He won't. He's all healthy. He's all MMA, like weighing
no,
himself.
right, because he's got to keep to his weight class. Well, that's good. But I had a conversation with somebody not too long ago, and the amount of high school boys who are already using testosterone was like, wow. I knew it was happening, but it's different when you like know intellectually versus like, oh right, the kids like are literally juicing at 17.
It wasn't rare in my day, but not every like when I saw someone actually doing steroids, I was shocked in high school, which I shouldn't have been.
Right.
But now it's so widespread. I don't know. I can't remember. Like my son was watching some rando video in the living room, and this guy was walking around a competition, and he's asking men and women, "Are you clean or something? Are you like?" He was asking them some question, and
Yeah.
all of them were juicing.
Yeah.
They're like, "Oh, I'm taking this and this and this and this." And they were like sounded like they were reading off. They were like doctors, you know.
Right. They were like, this is the stash at the pharmacy. I know, because it's like, it's Anavar, it's Trenbolone, it's testosterone. There's so much stuff.
When you start sounding like a Harry Potter spell, you've lost me. You have lost me. I'm serious. But it was so weird to me that because in our day, you wouldn't admit that under duress. Like they'd have a light on your face and be like, nope, 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 nope. You'd be all swollen and buff, like, no.
Right.
And so it seems like people are so open about it nowadays. It's just weird to me. It's so crazy to me how people are.
Well, it's kind of like that saying, like, we don't need the government to, like, spy on us because folks are just dumb enough to tell it all out in the open anyway. Like,
One of the best memes, and I have an A word, but one of the best memes I ever saw was that it showed a picture of the 1970s, and they were like, we don't want to say anything on the phone because the phone might be tapped. Then it flashed forward to now, and it's like phone tap. What's the recipe
yeah,
for cordon
yeah,
bleu? Or
yep, that was a good one. Yep.
you talk to your phone tap now, you know?
I do not have one of those. Flat out refuse. And it was reinforced when going back to the hurricane stuff. All those folks with the electronic doors who water and electronic doorbells and door locks don't play well together. They couldn't get back into their houses.
I've always wondered about that. I've installed a few. Well, I do the hardware, But I always wondered about that. Or people, unless you have like your own solar generator where you can pull your power up from yourself, I don't know how that would work.
Yeah, but if it's water damage, it doesn't matter if you have power.
I've always wondered about that. I have always wondered about that.
Well, now you know. Don't, not worth it.
What's wrong with a key, kids? What's wrong with?
Exactly. Yep.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Oh, you've not been online. So in some of the really remote places, because the roads have been washed out, they've had to resort to old-fashioned technologies to get relief supplies, and Mule Team 6 can save
Oh,
the day.
I would. I mean, I would show up with 15 donkeys. I'd be like a wizard.
Exactly. Yep, it was great. Like, let's make old-fashioned skills great again
I could
because
get a
we
mule
get too
team.
far, but
I could get a mule team in 15 minutes. It takes
yep.
me 12 to get to my job.
In just a few minutes to get the mules all ready to
I'd
get
probably
back.
scare them when I was running in the pit. I'd scare the hell out of them when I came running. Oh, that's funny. I think about that as well because I get paid a lot of money to remove rattlesnakes. Back in the day, people just used to do that on their own. I get paid
Yep.
a lot of money for AC, DC motors, and a lot of the time, people just install things backwards.
Yeah.
But I
Yeah.
learned
Connections matter.
my dad. I'm going to give you a secret. Something my dad taught me, and this is a toolbox kind of thing. But he told me always bring your lunch in your toolbox because when you're charging someone hourly and it's just a switch and it takes you 5 minutes, you sit up there and you eat your lunch.
Fair.
If you ever wonder what's taking the guy so long, it's because he's trying to finish his spaghetti
His
before
lunch.
you notice.
Yep. Makes
Because it took him
sense.
30 seconds to reattach the two things. But
Right.
it's true. It's so true. It is so. Still to this day, I leave a space for my lunch in my toolbox when I go on
Yeah.
service calls.
Well, that's like that silly picture of those two chicks who didn't know how to attach the battery charger to jump their electric car.
What?
They, yeah, they didn't know. And I'm like, I'm not super car tech savvy, but I know like the red goes to the red and the black goes to the black. Like,
I'm so glad you said that. I was about to say, it's marked. It's marked.
you just it tells you how to do it.
That
And they
gives
were like,
me.
freaking out, like, we don't know. And it's like, these same folks are like, we don't need a no man, but then they can't do a simple, like, I'm pretty inept, but even I know that much.
That's just nuts to me. I avoid that whole conversation too.
Yeah, because
I
sometimes
think
I
it's
do need a man to do, like, man things for me.
But I think it's also a generational thing because people have more options than we ever did. So they can see the whole field, not realizing the game has been played before we were born.
Right. Yeah, they
There are
think they're on
certain
this, like, new game, and they're like, nope, it's the same old game. It's
just
nothing.
repackaged. Just
Yep.
repackaged. It's new Coke, new Pepsi, whatever you want to call it. New Earth.
Oh, can they bring back Diet Crystal Pepsi, please? Oh, God.
I had a thing for Crystal Pepsi. I did. I thought it was the coolest thing on earth.
It tasted so good. That was my jam. That and
Didn't like
that did not do.
didn't they attempt to bring it back?
Did they? I don't know.
One there was like Lemonheads or one of those companies went under and someone else bought them and brought them back.
You know what I guess is gone and not coming back right now is Atomic Fireballs.
Why?
They went off the market a while ago, and I didn't even know because I haven't looked or thought about it. But
I talk about this all the time on my channel. Ever since I started going to Nevada, I've discovered there's a bunch of stuff they don't sell in California. Like they don't sell Skittles. They only sell a certain type of Skittles, but they don't sell other types of Skittles. It is so sad that when I go to the state of Nevada, I'm buying soda and candy because they don't sell it in my state. It's so sad. There's all kinds of stuff they don't sell in California, and I'm like, why?
Is the thing that makes me mad, not that they don't sell it, but that they have versions in Europe that they could sell that they don't choose to bring here. Because I was
Which
like,
are like, we drink the Mexican Coke though, and the Mexican Coke it has pure cane sugar, and it tastes 10 times better than.
right, because it doesn't have extra stuff. Or I was at this Mexican wholesale market website thing, and they have Colgate has a toothpaste that's made with salt that has 5 ingredients, and you could read all of them. I was like, why can't we get this here? What? Why? I don't know. I do know, but it makes me mad.
It's all about big business.
It is.
I think about it all the time. How come Singer owns Southern California? They own where I live. Like there is if someone's like, "Oh, I have a sewing machine," you walk in their house, it's a Singer.
Yeah, they had the best marketing and propaganda.
Exactly.
Oh, where's Kilroy to bring out big sewing?
I've been accused of playing both sides, and I do. Because if they hired me, I would turn shill in 0.5 seconds.
That's true. Or no, as I can't say too much as I'm like sitting at my Singer and not at my bedroom field. I need to make I want to make a pair of leather treadle shoes, so we'll be back at Broomfield because I love her for those fiddly slippers. There's just two. Yeah.
I'm biased. I feel like I'm biased, but I have a Bernina sitting in front of me, and that's another thing. That when I started going to Nevada, I started like this machine resells for $200 or $300. I paid $24 for it.
Oh my goodness!
And it's a professional quilting machine. But where I live, they would have charged. Someone would have Googled it and been like, "Oh, it goes for $300. I'm gonna sell it for $150."
Yeah, it makes. I don't know. They do the same thing up here. They've got like somebody selling a baby lock or whatever, for like $600. But some of those fancy computerized ones, I don't love my sewing machine that's got a computer in it. The parts are just not as good.
The problem is when it's the same thing with modern cars. I can fix any car from 1999 and down with one hand tied behind my back. I could take a car apart. Anything above that, I'm like, I have no idea what I'm doing. But it's because they added a gang of computers.
It sounds like the 06 and back you just need the reader to kind of like tell you, but it's less computerized is what I've heard from some of the car guys.
I told you about I have the pleasure of driving a RAV4.
Mm-hmm.
And long story short, that car corrects you. If you're going too fast, it slows you down. If it feels that because I really didn't say anything, my mom pointed it out, and I'm like, what? Because the car would be tugging, and I didn't realize if it thinks you're veering, it veers you back.
Yeah, that just sounds like an accident waiting to happen.
And you can't turn it off.
Yeah, no, I flat out refuse. Well, did you hear about the patent that Ford is working on to have a sensor in the car to tell if other cars around it are speeding?
That's what the RAV4 has. It has that on it. It is the worst thing ever because it tells me to slow down when other cars fly past me.
Right, but those ones at least they want. Not only does it want to monitor if the driver of that vehicle is speeding, but if the surrounding vehicles are speeding, so they can send it so they can get tickets.
That's the worst. Do you want to hear something crazy that Gavin Newsom I didn't believe it until and there's a very big reason why he did it. But do you want to hear one of the new laws that were recently passed?
Means are no longer legal.
It is now coffee shops can now legally sell pot in the state of
Oh,
California.
yeah, I did hear about that yesterday. You can't have flavored vapes. You can't smoke cigarettes without being ostracized. But you can have it like this. Make that make sense to
But
me.
I'm telling you, this is not Oregon. This is not Washington. Our coffee shop industry is non-existent. We used to have mom and pop espresso shops everywhere. Everywhere. We were like Portland and Seattle 20, 30 years ago. They all
Yeah,
disappeared because it's all Starbucks or Coffee Bean. All of
yeah.
it.
It. They
And
just like
so
screw over the small businesses and be like, "Here, we're gonna give you this lame carrot that makes no sense."
so now we'll see if it brings back. I quite honestly, I miss going to a coffee shop where I can bring my own cup. Where like I just little things because I have outrageously large cups. When I lived in Oregon, I had my own cup. I'd wander into coffee shops with. I miss stuff like that. The more personal touch.
Right. Well, and that, didn't they? So, if there's no more plastic bags in grocery stores, does that mean like the food that the all of the prepackaged plastic, like, is it just the take-home shopping bags now that they're trying to? You guys are weird down there.
We still
Gavin
have plastic
Streusel
bags.
is like fucked you guys over hard.
We still have plastic bags, but they charge you. I take, you know what, so sad? I am a conditioned human because now I take bags with me everywhere. I have a set of bags.
So do we, that. I do too, and that seems like low-hanging fruit, but
I have my set for groceries. I have my set for thrifting,
mm-hmm,
especially when I go to the swap meet because they give you
right.
plastic bags.
No, they just want to get rid of their own shit. They're like, I don't got a fit no bag for you.
Well, now some places just assume that you're gonna bring a bag because we're all yuppies and we all have bags now.
Yeah.
There's actually this bag I want to make. Um, Gunter from Gunter Designs
Oh,
made
yep.
this human. He's like, "Oh, I'm just making this for thrifting." It's like 4.5 feet long.
Oh my goodness. You could fit a small body in there.
But I can see why but that thing would get so heavy
Yeah.
when whenever I buy large amounts of tweed, like today, this was barely like half of what I usually buy. It's normally around, I'll say 80 to 90 pounds I'm bringing back to my car.
Oh my goodness.
If not, it's probably more. It's probably more.
Yeah.
But I've been working out because I now have a squat rack in my house.
Oh, good. Oh, good, good. Because the kid's like, I gotta do squats.
Well, I put it in his head his whole life because I skate, and people tell me all the time, they're like, "Oh, you have nice legs," and I tell them because I work at it.
Right.
And so I told my child in his entire life, I tell him, "Do not ever skip leg day."
No.
And but he's getting ripped because he rides the exercise bike. He's doing his thing.
Good, good.
He's like but he's of that age, you know.
Right. Gotta look good for himself and the ladies.
And if you're watching, because I know you're subscribed to everybody, $50, bro. $50. 50 clams, 50 shimolis, whatever you want to call it. $50, bro.
Take the deal. Take
I'm
it.
over. He looks like Magnum PI.
Oh, and he's too young to have that
Because
1970s.
he likes wearing Hawaiian shirts, and with his hat, I'm like, bro, you're Magnum PI. You are literally Magnum PI, bro. My son has turned into Magnum PI in his teenage years. Oh, greatest theme song ever. Are you kidding me? I'll still do sketchy stuff for $50 right now. Offer me $50.
It depends on. I have some.
I give him a hard. I just give him a hard time. I give him because He's just
That's your prerogative.
he's stuck to his guns, you know. I'm proud of him though. He wants to scrag. He wants to look like Jesus. Go ahead.
All right.
I'm over it.
Oh, small humans.
So I last year was Carmageddon with the parents, and it's really weird this year. There's not a soccer mom competition.
Oh, good. Interesting.
I pull up. I've been sewing in the parking lot. I actually finished my I patched a pair of pants. I finished them just sitting in front of the school waiting for my kid.
Oh, that's funny. Hmm.
Last year was really tense. Hopefully all those kids graduated and they took their tense parents with them.
Right. Or maybe they homeschooled now, or they got into some private prep school.
I understand where I live it's hot. I understand. And there are oak trees everywhere on this side of town because it's one of the oldest sides of town. The entire town is covered with oak trees.
Yeah.
Where we park, you can fit 3 to 4 cars. But this one particular person will literally pull up and park under the tree so you can only fit 2 cars.
Oh, lame.
And I think it's the most inconsiderate you know what on earth.
Yeah. Well,
And
that's most of society right now is pretty inconsiderate. So,
it drives me mentally insane because I'm a please and thank you kind of person. I'm a
yeah.
ma'am, no ma'amer, and or yes ma'am, yes sir. If you're older than me, which at
Right.
my age, that
Oh,
list is getting shorter and shorter.
no.
But people just aren't like that anymore. People are shocked when I say excuse me, or they're like, it's weird. And in Spanish too, if someone says pásale, that's not necessarily the most polite thing in the world. They're just saying pass. Get out of
Yeah.
here. You know, like people have become so rude. It's the strangest thing to me.
Yeah.
And I'm not nice. I'm just polite. There's a difference.
Fair.
I'm a human. I have opinions like everybody else, but I treat people it's that age old thing of like treat people as you want to be treated, you know?
It's yes, and we've kind of lost. I think a combination of having lost it and folks just being too, I don't know, afraid of offending people, but for the wrong reasons. Like,
There's a
you remember
difference
how
though,
you used
like
to call, like, it was like Mr. So and so or Mrs. So and so. You never addressed somebody's parent, your friend's parents, necessarily by their first name.
I still don't. I'm friends with all my like original friends. I'm still friends with their parents on Facebook. I still like there was one of my friend's moms, I still say Mrs. Haha, and she's like Mr. Haha and I got divorced 15 years ago. But it's a respect issue.
Right, and now all these parents are just, like, worried about seeing the wrong thing. Like, the words.
I get in trouble though. I'm gonna tell you, it's on both sides because my son has special needs. If I feel you in any way are slighting me, I'm gonna say something. People no longer acknowledge mistakes.
Right,
Our
yeah,
our school system has fallen apart because
yeah,
nobody wants to stand up and take responsibility. So
yeah.
it's a double. They'd rather make TikTok videos about how the kids are horrible and can't read, and they're the ones trying to teach them. Like, aren't you
Right,
responsible
and
for
it's
that?
really their fault. Right, yes. Well, that, like, epidemic of all of these, like, teachers screwing around with their students, and it used to just be you would hear about the male teachers, but now it's all these ladies who are, like, taking advantage of these young
Never.
boys.
Do you know, in my day, there was this legend of this guy who ran away with the teacher, and he did. He did, but they've probably been divorced as long as they were together, you know?
Yeah. Oh, I remember that one. And the teacher, she got pregnant and then went to jail, and then they hooked up afterwards or whatever. But yeah, we live in bizarro clown world.
A part of that, I don't even know what the answer is anymore. That's why I sit here and sew. And I have completely taken myself out of society for that very reason.
Yeah, I think we just need to start from scratch because the old system, it's we're in the fall of the empire.
I think we feel like that because we grew up in an era that 1 week where people got along. That 1 week in human history, we were there.
Well, maybe
Or we just agreed to disagree at a certain point and moved on.
right. You could be friends. We folks could be cordial and have difference of opinions, and now it's that this like utter complete tribal brainwashed.
There is somebody I've known my entire life, and the other day I found out she's Palestinian. And I was like, "You've never said it." And she was like, "I've lived my entire life in Southern California. Like, what else am I?
Right.
She's so far removed from that culture. She's one of us. If you talk to her,
No,
you'd think you're talking
exactly.
to me. But I
Well, it's
never
like
knew. I've known her for like basically since I was 6 years old.
right. Yeah, it's like where you came from doesn't shape it. It's that like assimilate or continued tribalism.
I always knew she was of a different religion, but I never knew like that. She just never
One,
brought it up. She never brought it up.
right. But then there's a whole bunch of like Christians from Christian Palestinians too. Like they're not all Muslim.
And Assyrians too. In Northern California, I had never seen so many people that were Assyrian. I thought that was
Mm-hmm.
only in the Bible. I worked in a factory, and every other person there was either Hmong Chinese or Assyrian.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's a lot of oh, I forgot what I was gonna say. I'm just mad that we're doing the same thing in to the hurricane that we did in Hawaii. Of like, here's your $750. Hope that that's enough. While we just like
That's
pay away
so
billions of dollars
that's so
on shit
insulting.
that
If my
yeah.
house is crumbled and um you gave me 750, I would throw the check at you.
Well, and that so many of the folks who are applying can't. They're like, nope, you're denied. You're not eligible. It's like the double. Oh, I'm so.
I actually know a few people who just got power back today. They haven't had power in 3 days.
It's just
People in North
gross.
Carolina.
And that a few years ago when they were trying to bring internet to rural areas, and Musk and Starlink was like, please let us be a part of this, and they were like, no, we're not interested in you. Who is helping make sure that folks have internet? Yeah, it's Starlink. And they couldn't fly in. All these people who are like trying to do the right, help our neighbors, and the Fed Gov is like, no, it's got to be on our dime with our preferred providers, or we're just not interested. No, go shove off. Okay, I am
That's
just super
crazy.
bitter about this.
Don't worry, if you start talking about resellers, I might pop a gasket. I have all kinds of issues I get triggered by.
Yeah. Ugh.
Not resellers, it's people who think a $20 sewing machine is worth 400. Then they go sell it for 400 and destroy the market.
Yeah. Yeah. That I all the yeah. Folks don't understand that things do go down, except for cars. Everything goes down in value. It's called appreciation, and
The whole car thing. I look at my Rust bucket truck. It's still worth 17 grand. I don't know how or why.
yeah,
Even my rusty 2001 that's just sitting in front of my house rotting, that thing could sell for 7 or 8. And there's no way I would.
make it make sense. I don't get it. Mm. Yep, the world's gone clown-pilled, and that's all. That's that. Oh, Brain, stop being hungry. You're not walking to the Indian buffet right now.
Oh, I've been on this weird ever since I've been going to Vegas a lot. I found affordable Thai food. So I started eating
Mm.
Thai food even here.
Oh, I could do me a bowl of pho.
But it's so different. Like it back in the day, Japanese food, Chinese food, Mexican food, it was affordable because in other countries that's considered poor food. Like a lot of the stuff they feed us.
Right.
And now it's so green beef curry is something that like a kid in Thailand is like, I hate green beef curry. To me, I'm like, it's the greatest thing on earth.
Yeah.
Because it's just coconut milk and like jalapenos and peas. Oh man, it's so good.
Oh, I just saw that someplace up in the state they made a hotless habanero, and I asked myself why.
It's a what?
A habanero with no heat. I'm like, don't they just call that a pepper?
I was about to say I grow all kinds of peppers in my house. In Spanish, they call them chiles. I have all kind of chiles in my backyard.
Like capsicums, if we're being fancy.
I have red bell pepper. I grew up in a house where my parents grew bell peppers. They're not spicy.
No, there's lots of not spicy peppers, and I like a habanero in my head. The purpose of it is to have heat. Why? Like, what is your purpose?
That's another thing. I do grow really hot peppers on the side of my house. I chop them up and put them in my salsa, and I can tell how hot they are when I instantly start sweating.
Right. Do
And
you eat your pepper plants?
no, I inherit it. I just go out there and make sure it's still alive, and that thing just produces peppers. Like it, it's a marriage made in heaven between the pepper plant and I. It's much like my grapes, where I water every once in a while, and they just come back. Oh, that's beautiful.
Thank you. That's what they're supposed to. I met this Mexican guy a while ago, and he said that to make his peppers grow hotter, he would go out and like smack the plants around.
So they get angry. So
Oh,
they're
God.
angry. I didn't.
Yeah, he would just go out and push them around a little bit.
People do crazy stuff. Like around here, people like you'll see a tree painted half white. And I saw it everywhere, and I was like, "What is this?" And I asked somebody one day, and they were like, "Oh, in El Salvador." I was like, "Stop! I don't want to know." But it's some like
Right.
crazy superstition in El Salvador. So if you see that in
Hmm.
Southern California, a half there's it's the strangest thing because you're like, "Why is this tree painted? Who put paint on this tree?"
Right. Yeah, that's weird.
People
I
have
don't
the weird,
know.
people have the weirdest superstitions.
Yeah. Yes, they do.
You know, speaking of overpriced things, lately people have been out their brains for sewing machines, but I kind of consider it a good deterrent because there's certain like there are certain Kenmores. I'll admit they are better than their competitor, but I'm still
Yeah.
not going to pay you $75 for a Kenmore from nine. That's my age,
Right.
especially when I have like 30 of them.
Yeah, it's not like you're in need of another sewing machine, really.
But it really trips me out. Like when I was in Las Vegas, there were certain sewing machines. It's less of a competitive market, but they're also like the Bel Air behind me. I bought that for $25. Something
Oh,
that was exactly the same I saw in Las Vegas for $100.
that's so the.
And Las Vegas is cheaper than California, but someone thought like, oh, I have it. I have the antique. Oh, it's old looking.
Right.
when really it was just really well made.
Yeah.
It's my new pet peeve.
All the old things are betterly made. Wow, use your good or English, Phoenix.
I said this in my live stream because someone asked me, what's better, an old machine or a new machine? And I'm like, look, old machines smoking a cigar with a bowler on doing push-ups. Like those old
Yeah,
school sewing machines, they were made to last forever.
yes, and they do.
I destroy domestic sewing machines, and I'm not doing anything too special. I'm making coats, but it's the everyday use.
Right.
I sew every day, so I destroy domestics. That reminds me, I've been meaning to either pull my Bel Air or that other sewing machine. I can't remember the name of it. I bought it in Vegas, but I can't remember the name of it.
Oh man, I was joking. Somebody up here was selling a Brother Industrial, but it was like missing some parts and this and that for $100. I was like, I had half a thought, and I'm like, no, I do have no room and do not need another machine that I don't
And
know how to
it's unless it's intact, you basically will become an industrial expert because you're gonna have to figure out what's really wrong with it.
Yeah, it was like missing the belt and a couple other things. I'm like, yeah, no, I don't need this hassle in my life. I got enough machines in the bad kid corner that I need to just unload because I'm not going to fix them.
That's why I kind of haven't. I stay away from machines that need to be refurbished completely nowadays because I'm kind of retired from that. I can't believe I'm saying that out loud. I have. I'm a sewing machine expert when it comes to anything that's non-motorized, from
Yeah,
modern all the way down to the old school one. But I just don't do it necessarily as much as I used to. Which I'm saying that, and I still now that I have proper sewing machine oil, I quietly spent 3 days oiling
well, you need to so you can sew on
quietly.
them.
So now you can walk up to any of these machines back here, and they'll turn with no sound. They are ready to go.
Good. Well, there's a difference between refurbishing and then maintaining what is already in your hoard, and you're just in the maintenance phase.
That is true. I have amassed this mega fleet. I might as well let it fly.
Yes, Starship sewing machine at your service.
Oh, I love that. Patent pending, patent pending. I love stuff like that. I was, I was thinking about. There was this whole set. I was gonna build a Star Trek set, and I was gonna call it the Sewing Prize.
Yeah.
And there was a guy who spent his life savings, and he built the Enterprise in his house. Guess
Oh,
what
yep.
happened? Guess what happened? He got sued by Paramount. And he made this stuff. Okay, although he copied everything, he purchased it on his own. He like all the screens and everything he bought on his own. It wasn't like I'm getting all lawyery because I had the same idea. But he got
Well, that's
popular.
just like if it's for your own enjoyment, if you're not charging money and it's for personal use, like that's above and beyond.
Yeah. And because I'm really into Trek, Star Trek sued all the fan movies. There are some fan movies that are like that I put them up there in Trek lore because I've watched them so many times. And
Yeah.
there was a show called Renegades that all the actors that were on Star Trek, they wanted to continue doing Star Trek, so they made their own show called Star Trek Renegades. Star Trek sued their own actors. And these people still appeared on Picard after they all got sued. All of them still appeared on all the new shows because they have no spine.
Right. Yeah. That. I. Yeah. I don't know.
If you destroy my project, I'm not going to join yours.
No. Right. Have some cojones and just.
Because these people had real sets. They had real. There was one remake. It it was really cheesy, but I liked it. But it was super cheesy. But this one was like intense. It was real. It made you feel something, and they sued their own people.
I,
Corporations are nuts.
yeah, they are. I don't understand. I'm getting. What, what are you doing? I think. All right.
I have to make a thumbnail for later before I forget. I'm doing a live stream at 5, and I keep on. I'm like, there's something I'm forgetting.
Here, I'll let you go so you can do that. I think I need to. My brain is not working and I'm getting hungry. So shill
Totally
your show for
understand.
later. So, oh, I almost fell off my bench.
My so-called life. My so-called life. Come check me out. My so-called life. It's just sewing and mayhem. And I'll have a special guest tonight.
Alrighty. And don't wait till tomorrow to be fabulous today. And don't laugh at others unless you laughed at yourself. I've been Phoenix. You've been you. Oh, I know I'm stealing somebody else's outro. We're not going to do the
Oh,
pew pew
steal it.
pew.
Oh, steal it.
I'll be back tomorrow at 3:30 with sewing something. All right. Bye.
Bye.